I'm on Lulu Pass outside of Cooke City in front of a large, very large deep slab avalanche that broke naturally 2 nights ago. And it happened after this area had a foot of heavy snow and extreme winds that overloaded that slope. And it looks like it broke on buried weak layers deeper in the snowpack. About 3 weeks ago, there was a similar sized deep slab avalanche just down the ridge on Henderson Mountain. And after that slide, there was multiple human-triggered avalanches that also broke on those weak layers. So even though the snow has stopped here, this is a sign that the snowpack is unstable and we could trigger very large avalanches. The likelihood is decreasing, and this problem is tricky because there's not very obvious signs of instability, like collapsing in one thing and digging snow pits doesn't really show the instability a lot of the time. So our best strategy is to choose terrain carefully, choose simple terrain that's not heavily wind loaded or slopes less than 30 degrees steep. We're about the crown of an avalanche that was triggered by a snowmobiler yesterday. It's on a southwest facing slope on Crown Butte. And it's a lot smaller than that deep slab avalanche we were looking at over on Fisher Mountain earlier, but it's the same kind of setup. It broke on a layer of surface hoar and sugary facets below a really hard slab, and it's only a foot deep here, but it breaks out to about 3 feet over where it's more wind loaded. So it is on a heavily wind loaded slope, and even though it's not nearly as big as that slide, it's plenty big enough to kill somebody. And with these trees, that increases the consequences of a slide like this if you were to get caught. So this is the same kind of setup. Hard slabs of snow breaking on sugary weak snow, and a reason that we want to avoid steep, heavily wind loaded slopes. So this deep slab problem isn't going to go away quickly. We need a week or 2 without new snow and wind loading, or a big warm up that starts to melt the snowpack and it gets a good melt and refreeze altogether. So continue to keep this in mind and manage your terrain in regards to that problem, and stay tuned to mtavalanche.com for the most up-to-date conditions.